to the call. Welcome to the training, everyone. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick. I'm up here in beautiful Fargo, North Dakota, where people move because of the weather. We just had snow the other day, and holy cow, who wouldn't want that in October? So, enough about the weather. You know, every month, what we try and do is on the second Friday here in America, the second Saturday of the month down in Australia, we cover the compensation plan, and we try and give you some things that you can use to go out and build your business. And that's what we're really here for. It's a network marketing company. It's not direct sales. And the difference really being that with network marketing, you build teams. You try and build teams of people. You try and help other people. With direct sales, a lot of it is just really doing your own personal sales. And so with me today, I have my friend and business partner, Rene Ferguson, on the call. Welcome to the call, Rene.
Thank you so much, Doc. It's always a pleasure to be here and be invited back. So thank you.
You bet. Thank you. And I know you've got some great information to share. And so as we go through this today, what we tried to come up with was, you know, some of the most common questions that we get asked about compensations plans, maybe not just with Sisel, but in network marketing as a whole. You know, nobody went to college to be a network marketer, although I think that there are some colleges now that teach it. And you think about when you go to a job interview, what do you typically ask the interviewer? You know, the people that are your potential employer. You ask them, number one, you know, what do I got to do? If you hire me, what do I got to do? And then the second question you typically have is, you know, how often do I have to do it? How long do I have to do it? Right? And then the third question that really comes up is how much you get to pay me to do those things. And, you know, and then people ask about the other stuff, you know, the vacation time and the benefits, the paid benefits and everything like that. With network marketing, the difference is that you get paid for doing the job, and if you don't do it, you don't get paid. And I like that because it puts us all on a level playing field. I like that about the industry. The other thing is that you know, you don't have paid compensation as far as like time off and things like that, and so you learn how to work your time more effectively by you know, making work time and play time. Wouldn't you say, Rene?
Yeah, Kurt, can you hear me? Okay.
Loud and clear.
Okay. I agree with what you're saying there, especially this last comment about, you know, you work it, you make the time work for you. And that's about all that time freedom that we hear so often. And, you know, we don't have to be at the big bucks before we can start adapting that to our lifestyle, you know, by all means.
Right on. I agree. Well, let's get into some of these questions, and we'll try and wrap this thing up in a half hour and get people some answers to things. So, you know, one of the things that I wrote down here is that some people ask, they said, hey, you know, I've heard that the compensation plan is the most important factor when they go looking at a network marketing company like Sisel, right? And so is that true or isn't it? And why would you say that?
Well, it is important. I certainly think that it's one of the certainly what I look at. I think that you were on the call, on Tom Mauer's call, and for any that have joined us today, Tom pointed that very thing out. He said, I mean, he talked about which products have become the best sellers, but he did say that our compensation plan, or our business, which is the compensation plan in that aspect, is the greatest product. And so I do tend to agree with that. Does it mean that we have to know everything about it before we can talk to people? Absolutely not. But you do want to feel confident in a few certain points about it. Now, you and I have always chatted about this sort of thing, and you like to use the analogy of as if it's the engine of a car. And I like that one because most people can relate, because most people have a vehicle. You know, the engine is the comp plan. If it's big and powerful, you know, you'll keep up and eventually stay ahead of everyone else in the race. And so we need to have an engine with torque so that we'll come out, you know, the gates strong. And for people who are just beginning, well, equally important is the fuel. And the fuel, what is the fuel with Sisel? Well, it's our products. We need products that are proven to work and fit, and categories of products that people want and need. So, I mean, you wouldn't sell many cases of used motor oil, would you? You know, the more products that people want, the more octane boost in the fuel. So that just makes sense. Products that work, people stick around, and you have longevity. And you also need to have a smooth operating system. You know, if the fan quits working on your car, your engine will be ruined. And that's why we have people at the helm, like the mowers, running the system. They have the experience we need for our vehicle to run properly. That's right. So you wouldn't, you know, you certainly wouldn't want to put a Pinto engine in your Ferrari. You know, so this takes a lot of the heavy lifting off of our shoulders, and we can just simply get to work.
I agree. You know, Rene, the next question I have for you is that, you know, as we look at compensation plans and we look at the industry, you know, a lot of people say, well, why don't all the companies just have one compensation plan? Why isn't it the same throughout the industry? Why does every company have to have their own little thing?
Well, I guess some people think it would be much easier, but then you have to look at that. Easier for who? You know, it's easier for me to recruit business builders if I have a great comp plan? Of course, it's certainly something I look at. For example, I don't care what the product is, I will not work a binary. And that's just come from, you know, what I've learned over the years. So there's certainly things like that. If you have a great comp plan, like I say, you know, if people are just using the products, well, it doesn't matter to them because they're not building a business. So not all companies can operate like Sisel. You know, you look at in the corporate world, not all businesses not in the corporate world run the same, or do they have the same kind of compensation or benefits or anything else? Sisel we have our own manufacturing plant. And so this really allows us to have a lower overhead. So the company can add money into the compensation plan. We run our company like, you know, really like we're on a shoestring budget. That's bad sometimes because we may occasionally run out of stock. But, you know, it's good. If we're on a budget, we know we'll be here to pay commissions on time every time, and that is very, very important. You know, Sisel has zero debt. That's huge, and that's something you can point out as people are looking for a business. You know, to be able to say that, you know, our company is privately owned and zero debt, that gets people, serious business builders, that gets their attention. So with that, the company has cash to put into the comp plan. That's very important. And I think most importantly, because of all these things, we have cash on hand so we can pay out on a daily basis. Yeah, like that's huge. That's beautiful. For certain parts of the plan, I mean, don't you like that, Doc?
I love it. I love it. I know that my paycheck will be there every day.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm starting to see, you know, I do see the same. You know, I haven't been building as long as you, but I'm already seeing that, and I like it.
There you go. There you go. It does really make a difference, you know, not having a stockholder, you know, a board members that you have to answer to, and the only people we have to answer to is we have to answer to the distributor field, and that's really nice because, you know, it means that the money is going to be divided amongst us. So I like that. You know, Rene, as we move on to the next question, you know, some people ask me, they say, well, how can you offer an infinity bonus? Won't that eventually cause the death of the company? Because if you're paying on infinity, won't that run the company out of money? And we've seen companies that basically have run out of money. So what's your answer to that? How would you answer people on that?
Well, I know it is a concern, and it's not, yes, it's a question, but not, again, we don't have to look after all that, you know, that corporate looks after. They are, you know, they do the heavy lifting for us. So the answer is basically no. It's all been worked into the plan, and it's certainly not going to cause a problem. I mean, trust me, the Mowers have some very talented people at the helm on these issues. And here's the deal. According to stats, and we know this in network marketing, it's how compensation plans are set up. Only 3 to 5% of networkers will ever hit the big money. So there's always strategy and leveraging in network marketing. So we need to reward those people who go the distance and work with their teams to help them all succeed. You know, it's that simple.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You know, as people build, you know, and they spend their time working with it. Yeah, you know, throw some extra bones out there for everybody. So I like it, and that's good. You know, another question that people ask, and it has to do with the commission structure with the unit level. They say that, so Sisel pays 7%, 7 levels across the board. And, you know, people ask me, they say, well, my company pays, you know, 20% here and 5%, sorry, I'm using my whiny voice, and they pay 5% here and this and that. You know, what's the advantage? Why do we pay 7% across the board?
Well, here's the deal on that. If you pay high commissions in the front end, it encourages everyone to simply build without any emphasis on team. So everybody, I think, can see what would happen just by that statement. So if you put the commissions too deep, then the new guy gets discouraged and quits trying, figures I'm never going to get ahead. I'm not even going to get just a minimal income out of this. And so it has to balance. And I feel that the straight 7% does. I from past experience, again, I find that to be very, very lucrative. So if you want to get started today, you know, I mean, it's great to know that you're earning the same as people that have been in the business, you know, much longer.
Right. I agree. You know, we've all been in, if we've been in the industry for a while, you know, we've been in those companies where they pay the top leaders like huge dollars. And the guy that just gets started tomorrow, I mean, he can't even make enough to buy a hamburger at McDonald's. And you just know that's not going to work. Eventually the company's going to fall apart when you do that. So I love the 7%. Plus it's easier to explain, isn't it? When you tell people, you say, hey, you know, Rene, you know, our compensation plan pays 7% across the board. Isn't that easier?
Oh yeah, yeah, cuts down the time, you know. Yeah, you can go into a little bit more detail as you go along, but the basic idea, yeah, you nailed it. 7% across the board, you know, 7 tiers deep. Anybody that's had some past experience is going to know that that's very, very lucrative. And then, yeah, you can get into the, you know, 25% for preferred customers ongoing. I mean, that in itself is huge. So yeah, our system, again, from a past company I've been in with a unilevel, I think the unilevel is the simplest compensation plan, you know, to build with. I love it. I absolutely do. I love it. Yeah.
You bet. You know, hey folks, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, or if you're watching the recording later on after this is done, you know, if you could just put in the comment section, put where you're from, and let us know. Let us know what you like about it. Maybe let us know what your questions are, so next month we can answer them for you. If you're enjoying it, give us the thumbs up, you know, and smiley face. And, you know, maybe that heart thing, and just, you know, let us know where you're from. So, you know, it makes it so it's easier to share, and it gets the word out there on this. So, you know, Rene, as we move to the next question, you know, this has to do with, I think, some of the leadership styles and some of the ideas that people have. I've had people tell me, they say, oh yeah, you know, is that one of those deals, or is that one of those things that I can get in, and eventually I continue to make huge amounts of money without ever having to do anything? You know, I think they're looking for the gravy train.
Yeah, that's one of those get rich quick things.
Right?
Yeah, I've not found anything like that in the real world. So yeah, you know, it boils down to when some people tell you that they're only going to work for so long and quit and live off the commissions, or the residual as it's referred to, and the bonus checks that they've earned from what they think is hard work. They're in the wrong industry. You know, that's all there is to it. If somebody says to you, well, I only want to make $500 a month, then too, they have not got the right picture of what this is with team building. Because if you have somebody that's serious under you, it's like that snowball going down the hill. I mean, you just cannot stop the momentum. But, you know, certainly, as we both know, it is definitely one of the fallacies of the industry. And you can earn residual income for the rest of your life. But you got to know, like, network marketing, if you're working with your team, which I love, it's like a snowball going down the hill, and you know, you cannot stop it. So to be able to put the brakes on and say, well, I only want to make $500, that, you know, or that only as an example, of course, that just doesn't exist in network marketing.
Yeah. And, you know, Rene, the other thought that I have on it is that, you know, I just really think it's a bad idea, because of the fact that people really, they watch what leaders are doing. They watch what they do. You know, they don't necessarily do what they say. They do what they do. And so if they see you quit, guess what they do?
Well, and I agree with you wholeheartely. Bad idea. It gives people the wrong message. And I started to say a bit earlier, that is one of the nightmares of network marketing, getting involved and then have your enroller disappear. Like, nobody wants that to happen. So, you know, if everybody did quit working and they followed your lead, you know, you would see the breakdown of any team. So, yeah.
Yeah, it really is just a bad idea. You know, one of the things that I think, and it gets brought up to me all the time when I talk to people who don't do network marketing. Maybe they've looked at it before, or things like that. People say to me, they say, you know, Kurt, why is it that you have to buy a product every month? Why do they force you to buy a product? You know, what's your answer for that?
Well, it's to make it legal, and this isn't a lottery, is the bottom line. Which, if we didn't have to, like, it's moving those products. I mean, let's face it, that's how we get the products out into the marketplace. And of course, to make it legal, if you're building the business, of course, the other hand is if you're a preferred customer and you're just enjoying the products, there's no monthly qualification or anything. But if you want to get paid, yes, you have to place an order, and that's just moving the products.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We are the consumers, right? The distributor
Absolutely.
force, we are the consumers. So that again goes back to kind of that first question, in that's why you got to have good products, right? I mean, like you said,
Oh, yeah.
if we're marketing used motor oil, eventually I'm gonna have enough used motor oil in my garage, and I'm not gonna buy anymore.
Yeah, that's right. That is absolutely true. And I am so impressed with the lineup of products that Sisel has. Like, I think I have shared with you in the past, I came on board thinking I could build a business with the H pill and Sisel Ripped. And then as I got to know more and more of the products, because I bought that Wealth Builder pack, it really got my attention. Like, I've never seen a product line that compares to the Sisel products. They're just amazing. And it's like, who would want to be without these products?
Oh God! I tell people, even if the compensation plan fell apart, I'd continue to take these products, because I mean, I see what they've done for me. I've seen what they've done for my parents. I see what they've done for my friends. I mean, holy cow, Rene! Did you see the post this morning? Your name was mentioned on it along with mine. Your friend Wendy, yours and Andrea's friend Wendy, that her neuropathy is gone. Her chemo-induced neuropathy gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I did read that. And it's just like, you know, I reposted that too, saying, you know, this is why I work with these products. I mean, you look at the testimonies day after day that we are able to post from our friends and our teammates, you know, getting these amazing results. I mean, it's just, yeah, I certainly don't want to be without these products ever.
You got that right. You know, Rene, getting back to kind of that question on the infinity bonus, you know, somebody said to me then, they said, well, if it's not going to break the company, why doesn't everybody get paid? Why doesn't everybody get paid to infinity?
Well, you know, and that is a great question too. And the answer is actually quite simple. Sisel and the Mowers have analyzed costs of production, marketing, staffing, and they need to have a profit as well. So if we pay to infinity on everyone, then the commissions would have to go down in the first 7 levels. Most people never build past that. So that's why they chose the 7 levels. But if you're at the 7th level and you're working, you will no doubt eventually have a team that'll pay you to move to higher ranks. And you will participate then in those affinity bonuses for leaders. So it's really worthwhile to always be striving, and you want to get to the top of the compensation plan. You know, it's like, why would you not?
That's right. That's right. Good answer. You know, next question is that and I've looked at these compensation plans. I know you have too. You've participated in some of them. I have too, and all of you that are listening, I'm sure you've looked at other compensation plans that promise you the sky, you know, the blue sky out there, and they say, oh, we pay higher commissions than Sisel does. And you know, now after looking at a few of those comp plans, I don't believe it. But you know, and I've looked at them, so I know they can't. Tell us your answer on that there, Rene.
Well, you know, bottom line, I have seen them too, and they advertise it, but then you start to read the fine print, like you say, and you realize you won't see higher commission levels. It's a ploy they use to convince people that they're shinier, their object is shinier, is better than where you are right now. So, and you know, that can attract the people, but you know what? It attracts the wrong kind. Nobody wants jumpers. You know, you find a company and, you know, you want people on your team that have got a reputation of sticking with the company because they're there for all the right reasons. And if they're just looking for the next, you know, shiny object, don't fall for that game, you know. I mean, and with the Mauer's experience and the ownership of the manufacturing, I mean, that in itself is huge. It keeps the overhead the lowest of any company that I've seen, and manufacture the highest quality of product. I mean, look what we read about Fukuoka and what they pay in Japan, and it's not near the product that we have. So, I mean, just look at that as one example. And they pay out handsomely in commissions and bonuses. This Wealth Builder program with these coded bonuses is just truly amazing. And start realizing that used car salesman and many marketing companies are really simply trying to get a few, you know, quick bucks, and then they'll move on. So you'll see people come and go in your life as I've seen in mine. And some people, you know, their track record, you just know that you don't want them in your business because they're here today and gone tomorrow, and they don't get it. They just don't get it on so many levels.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, I mean, that's the beauty, and we'll talk about this here in a little bit, but you know, why Sisel does change the compensation plan once in a while, but I won't get into that till the last question. But, you know, sometimes people say to me, they say, oh man, your products are so good. I would like to go out and I'd like to put them on the shelf of the store, and I'd like to, you know, do this and I'd like to do that. And they're really talking about the fact that they want to just do product sales. And you know, so Rene, why don't we have higher commissions on direct sales so people can just go out and pound the streets and sell the product? Why do we have the structure that we do?
Well, I mean, again, I think for, I love product sales, and this one, you know, as you say, some don't pay as much, but I think if they want to do that, they're in the wrong business. You know, that's not team building. And there, again, as everything in our life comes back to balance, there has to be a balance in the comp plan. If you want to do direct sales, then you should join a company that pays out better for that. But in the long run, you know, if you do that in MLM company, you'll encourage personal sales and discourage the team building. And again, that's what network marketing is. It's about team building. So you're not having to do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I totally agree with it. That's it, you know. And I really think direct sales, if I got into product sales, if I started taking and hauling a trunk load of products around, you know what? Then I've got myself a job. All I did was gave myself another job. So, you know, getting to our last question, Rene, is that, you know, sometimes we see the comp plan change, and when people are looking at the history of Sisel and they go on YouTube or they go on Facebook and they'll find, you know, some old posts that say, here's what the old comp plan played and things like that. And they say, why do we change our comp plan?
Well, and that's another great question too. You know, our business is very fluid, and the Sisel executives, they can encourage certain activity with bonuses and additions to the plan as they move forward in life, as products change, different things like that. So, I mean, let's look at this new wealth builder plan, for example. I mean, if you build a strong team of leaders who are dedicated to the plan, you'll earn those wealth builder bonuses on a daily basis, and they are sweet. And you can earn these bonuses to infinity, you know, in infinite levels here. I mean, aren't you glad they added that, Kurt?
Oh man, I love it. I love the wealth building.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, that was one of the things that caught my attention too. You know, when I first came in, it was just that change to the coded bonuses and the updates and whatnot, and it really got my attention. You know, from my understanding, the previous, I mean, uh, they changed it was in the unilevel was in place when I came in, and from my understanding, the previous plan was difficult to explain. And now, I mean, you touched on this earlier, if you want to get paid 7% on the first 7 levels, and also earn huge coded bonuses and other bonuses, you know, for working a little bit harder. And many of those bonuses we earn to infinity if we build a good, strong team and move up the ranks. Again, why would you not? You know, this company has so much to offer us.
Yeah, you know, that's exactly it, Rene. I mean, you had some really good answers to the questions. I really enjoy having you every month. And you know, is there anything else that you can tell people as we close out this and end the call? Anything else that you can say?
Well, you know, I really think we've got the best products in the marketplace. I think the compensation plan is also the best in the marketplace. And if anybody has any questions, I hope that they will bring them to you so that we can go through them on this second week of the month's calls when we do touch on compensation, and to not have fear about the compensation plan. There's just really some basic things like understanding. If somebody was to say to you, what's the name of your compensation plan? You can simply say it's a unilevel with coded bonuses. Because in most cases, they want that simple answer. They're not asking you to just vomit the entire, you know, each and every step. If
Right.
you come and say it's a unilevel with coded bonuses, that is probably the answer they're looking for.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Well, Rene, once again, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for this morning, if you're down in Australia. And thanks for being here each and every month to share your knowledge on compensation plans. You know, next week I've got Aaron coming on board. He's going to jump on the call with us next Friday here in the States, next Saturday morning in Australia. And we're going to share a few things, probably get you a little bit more information. For those of you down under, we'll get you a little bit more information on what's happening, maybe some updates on moving forward with New Zealand and the you know, getting a replacement for Jim O'Reilly down in Australia. Trust me, I mean, I had a call with Aaron, and they're working on things, and so next week we'll get him on the call. We'll get Aaron on the call, and we want to share that with everybody, and get them to know that as we move forward, so things are happening. If you can, again, please share this with everybody. Let them know we do this every Friday here in the States, every Saturday in Australia. We're going to do it on Facebook Live. It's just another way that people can connect with it. And if you want to share the recording, I'll have that posted on Facebook later on today. Have a great day. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for waving and smiling and putting your hearts on there and all those things. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.